We all go through evolutions in life, whether it's the midlife crisis or other phases that make us change a little bit. And with that is our vehicle choices. Hey, welcome to this edition of Road Warrior. I'm your host, Grant Roberson. Now, one such choice is the minivan. Sometimes we go through life, we add a child, maybe 2 or 3 or 7, and we need a vehicle that's going to fit. This offering behind me is such the case. The vehicle you see here is the 2017 Toyota Sienna. Now, this is the limited model, and there's a lot of bang for your buck inside this vehicle. Now, from the outside, it's going to be pretty much plain Jane, no wow factor, no reinventing the wheel. Now, let's start with the profile. Well, it's pretty much a minivan. Let's look at the curves, where there are none. It's pretty much straight sides, straight profile. Now, what that's going to do is really equip this vehicle on the inside, so that's where we're going to spend most of our time. Grip at the corners is going to be specifically 235, 55, 18-inch wheels. Now, what I like on this vehicle is you can opt for all-wheel drive. Now, it's going to make it feel somewhat four-wheel drive. Now, you're not going to want to take it off-road. Now, if you do take it off-road, one thing to note is ground clearance. What do we have here? Around about 6.5 inches, depending on model. That's not going to be too bad because the specific thing you're really looking at is the step-in height for those little ones. You got to look at guerrilla warfare, and why not with the minivan? Can it be menacing going down the road? Well, not really with that huge smiling front grille, nice and oversized and blinged out with some chrome. Now, coupling with that is the nice sweeping headlights. Now, they are nice and dynamic, and I like the fact that it really, of course, illuminates, providing safety in a vehicle that you definitely want to keep safe. Now, what you're also going to notice is its body color all the way around. Now, the whole front end is somewhat stout, so it doesn't protrude too much, giving you clear visibility in this oversized windshield. Now, as for airflow, plenty of air to keep this engine cool right through the grille and down there by the lower fascia. You got to have enough power to get you down the road, especially with all the little ones inside. Now, one thing to note, no real assistance here, the good old school method. What does that mean? Well, kind of hefty lift here, and you got to find this to keep it open. Not too bad, and we can move on. Now, what this is a 3.5 liter V6 engine, delivering around about 297 horses and 263 foot-pounds of torque. Couple that with the all-wheel drive, you definitely got some boot scoot and boogie. Now, lastly is fuel economy. At the end of the day, you got to get to where you're going with decent efficiency. What we have here on average between 19 miles to 27 miles per gallon, averaging somewhere around 22 to 23. Smart key systems is really the key to any success with the vehicle. Well, no pun intended. Now, what I like is it is delivered here on the Sienna, pretty much meaning those soccer moms and soccer dads and everyone that's busy with this vehicle is going to be able to keep this in their pocket and forget about it. Now, we talked about this 1,000 times. The smart key systems really are innovative, and what it does here is pretty much put your hand here, unlocks the door, and pretty much allows quick ingress. Now, some other things to talk about: glass all the way around this vehicle, even all the way up here on the front door with a nice little porthole. One thing to also note is the breakaway mirrors. Now, when we sweep down here, one thing we always talk about is the fill up process. Basically, this one delivered it on the driver's side, which I like because there's a lot of issues with safety at gas stations, and allowing this to stay on this side pretty much keeps the driver in contact with the vehicle. Lastly is security here. A lot of vehicles not maintaining security at the fill up. This one does. Doesn't relate to the key though. Have to pull the little handle inside. It'll pop this open. Once it's open, the good old cap system, prefer the capless. With a lot of little ones running around, one thing you want to talk about is safety, and it starts here at the back end with the backup camera and the backup sensors, both coupling together to truly provide you a nice view back here. Now, one thing also is the Sienna isn't necessarily that sporty, but they do add a nice spoiler to jazz things up. Now, for ingress back here to get the cargo in and out, what I like on this particular model is the power rear hatch. Now, it couples together nicely with the key fob, and it simply press a button as you get close. It's going to rise to the occasion. Now, one thing to note with the actual handle, I couldn't truly figure out if it would operate when you press the button. We couldn't really get it to do anything. The reason for that is because it is a light rear hatch. Simply pressing it, pull on it one time, that is really nice and easy. A lot of powered ones don't do that well when you manually operate it. Now, when you look at the back area here, what you're going to notice is it's nice and deep, very cavernous, giving you a deep floor. That's going to help with the overall cargo volume, which is around 39 cubic feet. The key word in this vehicle is transitions, because you definitely want to do that when you're hauling people and cargo and transforming the interior. Now, it's real simple back here on this vehicle model because this third row is powered, and the controls for that are simple and right here. Basically, all I have to do is press this button here. It's going to go through the tumbling procedure, pretty much laying it flat forward, then bringing it back. When it's fully complete, it's going to provide a nice cargo floor, nice and flat. Simply take this as well to fill in the gap. Now what's great is this is going to allow you to do numerous combinations, keep someone in place, add some cargo, tons of transitioning that can go on in this vehicle. Looking here at the second row, the first thing to look at really is the dual doors on both sides. In this particular model, they are powered. Now I didn't waste my time showing you how they open because it's pretty much straightforward. Pulling the handle, it powers out of the way. Press the button here, it'll close back up. Of course, there is corresponding buttons on your key just the same. Now looking at the second row, what you're going to see here is something that really took me by surprise. Nice caption chairs, seems standard operating procedure, but the next level of operation was key. Now what you're going to find is a few handles here on the side, and what you do is you simply set your comfort. First thing is the maneuverability. That's going to be right here, back and forth. That's going to allow the second row to truly get some extra leg room, maybe skimping there in the third row. The next thing is right up here. Simply pull the handle here. It now turns this into a recliner. You can, of course, articulate this out just a little bit more, providing tons of support. Lastly, to take it to the next level is the back support. Simply pull the handle here. Now you can fully recline. This pretty much taking that couch potato to the road. Swinging around to the third row, first thing to notice, this is more of a bench style seating, pretty much straightforward operating procedure back here. Not bad on comfort though. Now what I also like is with the power seats here, you're going to get a little bit of reclinability. Simply press a button. It's going to allow you to adjust with ease, add a little bit more level of comfort even here for the nosebleed section. Lastly is legroom numbers. Surprisingly, pretty decent across the board. Up front around about 40 inches, second row about 37, even in the back, creeping up as high as 36 inches. With all the entertainment and luxury in this vehicle, you could be confused to think, well, maybe you're in a limo. One added level is right here on the window shades. Pull these up, and that is truly going to give you that limo-like feel. There's one here, one on both sides, and in the second row. With a diverse group of individuals riding this vehicle, one thing that is universal is entertainment, and it all starts right here with this huge oversized screen. Now this is one of the widest formats I've ever seen, and it did translate the DVD quite well to this screen. Now what's great about this particular model is that the screen doesn't go too far down. If you did do that, you wouldn't have much rear view when this is in place. Added level of comfort here in the second row to note is the nice armrest on both sides, really giving you nice elbow support. Now for the long ride, you're definitely going to want to have a beverage, maybe even a cooler in here. Well, where do you put those? Well, right here. Now you'll notice the cup holders are way up here, but when you need to use them, simply pull this handle and they're going to come to you. That's going to make a nice comfort all the way around. When you climb in the front area, this is where it's going to feel like that Boeing 747, really giving you a cockpit-like feel up here. Now where it starts again is in the overall comfort in the front seat. Nice elbow support. And what I like with these armrests is they're nice and articulating, really can lock into any position. Now the other position you want to do is the 10 and 2 right here on the steering wheel. Nice and comfortable, telescoping, tilting, really gets you into nice comfort zone. Lastly, of course, is keeping that key in your pocket. Forget about it, because all you need to do is press the button and it starts right up. The learning curve may be right here on the dash. It's going to take a little bit getting used to learning all this here. Now, the first thing is the nice entertainment system up top. Has some shortcuts on the side. Pretty much a nice flush system. No real raised buttons. Symmetricness when it comes to the knobs. Now, what you see here is pretty much the audio setting, but you can press home. What that's going to do is split the screen. Now the screen I prefer is technically the app screen. This is really going to be more of the home button in my opinion, and allow you to find the quick access and find what you're looking for. Otherwise, you keep it on audio and tune your favorite tunes. One thing to note about the climate control area, it doesn't relate to the screen up above, but instead has its own nice screen. Now everything is really easy to use here. I like the oversized temperature select knobs, both for the driver and the side occupant. You also have tri-zone system here. That's all down here. The back occupants can dial in their comfort. Now everything really relates to this screen. You can really understand what you're doing, and when you don't have a front passenger, just simply press this. That syncs it all up. Way down low on the dash, you're going to find some connectivity here, USB connection, auxiliary jack. Now it is under this nice little black housing here, and it did take a second to understand that you lift that. I couldn't find the USB connection for just a second. Now there is a nice power supply here as well. For heated seats, I like the fact they have a nice toggle switch here, pretty much meaning it can be on all the time, especially during these cold times. Now down below, this is the DVD player. Real easy to use, simply slide it in. Now there are tons of cup holders in this car, but there's also some right here tucked away. Now it does for this edition of Road Warrior and a test drive behind the wheel of the 2017 Toyota Sienna. Now again, this is a vehicle that fits that evolution in our lifestyle, really delivering everything you could possibly need when it comes to hauling family, children, or just going to the grocery store to put all the gear inside. One thing you may not also realize is all the innovations that have come with the evolution of the minivan, especially on the inside of this bad boy with those nice reclining chairs and, well, that entertainment. As always, thank you for watching this edition of Road Warrior. Keep both hands on the wheel and eyes straight ahead.